You're listening to Superpowers of the Soul on the Superpower Up Podcast, the show that elevates superpowers to the divine.
Hello, everyone, and this is Jennifer Urezzio. I am the founder of Soul Language, and I'm a superpower expert, and this is Superpowers of the Soul. And I'm here with Patty Educati today, and we're talking about the meditation and body. Hi, Patty.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you for asking. You know, I always love to start these conversations off with a couple standard questions. So the first one is, what do you consider the superpower of your soul?
Ooh, that's a great question. Whoa, I can't say my superpower of my soul. I guess I was given the gift of, if you will, of a knowing. And people came to me at a very young age, when I was a young age, not them as a young age, just asking questions and seeking advice. And it's something that just kind of transpired over time, which actually led me to coaching. But there's just a knowing, a wisdom that I've always had. I think that's my superpower of the soul.
Love that. So we often talk about sacred practice, about sacred purpose being what you are fundamentally here to experience and then offer that experience to others. And so often when we talk about sacred practice, people will bring up their delivery systems. But my next question for you is really about that sacred purpose. What are you profoundly here to experience and then offer that experience to others?
Well, that's another great question. I will say this, it's been a transition to really hone in on that. But when you're someone that has been gifted wisdom, and at a young age, like I just said, I think for me, I have a purpose of sharing that and helping others. The helping others category is the one that has transpired over time, like where that is and who am I speaking to.
Love that. So then how does that kind of show itself in your work in your work with other people?
Well, I'm 55 now, and when I first started my path, well, gosh, I could back up here, of personal development. I've always had this incredible appetite to learn and read and just, so curious about the brain and how things work, and just kind of followed that path that led me into coaching. And I think that when I first started, and I went through a very rough time of a divorce, and I lost my mom tragically in a car accident at the exact same time, that my voice was just helping women get on their feet, helping divorced women get on their feet, letting people know that they have it deep down inside their soul to pick up the pieces and move on. And that's originally where I really wanted to scream things from the rooftop. But as you go through life, and I'm being at 55 now, and you have life's ups and downs, I'm honing more in on integrating the healthy mind and body with that same message, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it totally does. So, our soul shares usually with us this big theme, this theme that runs common throughout our life. What has been one of your big themes that your soul has shared with you over your journey?
I think a connection to, a deep connection to women, and women that have had adversity in their lives, and really not knowing where to turn. I've always felt that connection and people have gravitated to me, just even in the town that I raised my kids in, just asking for advice. And so I just think there's this automatic connection where the universe puts people in front of me to help. I mean, it's just happened. It's happened over time.
I love that. So we're going to start this conversation about meditation and the body. You have a practice of meditation. Why do you think that's so important, not just for your body, but for your soul and your journey?
Well, I like to say that I lately I've been super consistent with meditation, and I mean every day, and even when I can at night before I go to bed. And I've been practicing that due to I want to give a shout out to a book and an author that you may have heard of, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's someone I started following a few years ago, and he's just fascinating. He takes science and he combines it with metaphysics, quantum physics. He's brilliant. He's just a brilliant man. he healed himself from a spinal injury just through thought alone. And he now has taken his workshops and his platform to a bigger level of really helping people heal themselves. And it really has to do with connecting, and I'm just going to use the word universe or your God or the whatever anybody wants to call it. I call it, connecting with God. And so that's what meditation does. It's a place where I can go now and I can get really quiet and I can separate myself. And it's what's the word I want to use? The observer, if you will. The observer. So I can observe myself and I can observe my actions and I can observe my thoughts from that, almost like that second person. And when you can do that and you can tap into that, your own behavior, then I think you have a better opportunity of making bigger changes in your life.
I love that. And so what impact have you noticed on your body and on your journey? Is it much more flow? Do you feel less stress? Like, we hear all about it, but I think it's also important that people understand, of course, the reaction is personal to everyone, but some of the, really kind of tangible results of being in this connection and being present and doing it through meditation.
Yeah, I think that most people all day long suffer from their own self-chatter and their talk, and their heads get busy and they get noisy. And we have all these outside stimulants coming at us every single day. And then combine that with I think it's like 90% of our thoughts every day are repetitive. And so if you can meditate and you can get quiet, and it's not the easiest thing for everybody, but if you can do it, it can really, I think it can slow down the aging process. For me, it has just decreased stress levels hugely. I'm calmer. I don't worry as much. I trust in the universe. I trust in the process because I'm connected to it. And when you connect to it in meditation, then you realize it is real. And when you have all that chatter going on all day long in your head, you just think that you're this meat suit walking around. And the fact is, I don't believe that we are. I believe we're much more than that.
Wow, this is a very engaging conversation, and I want you all to stick around. But Patty, before we pop off for a break here, let people know how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, my website is, you can find me at Patty, Patty, at patriciaeducate.com. So really it's my full name, Patty, at PATRICIA, educate, EDUCATE.com. And educate is my last name, pronounced educati.
Beautiful. Okay, everyone, stay tuned for me and Patty about meditation in the body.
Are you here to change the world? Do you talk about things like vibration, frequency, awakening, and consciousness? Are you pretty sure you have superpowers? The Superpower Net is unlike normal coaching programs and conscious communities. We provide training, intuitive guidance, peer-to-peer learning, intensive one-on-one coaching, and a high vibrational network of people just like you. When you join the net, you get 24/7 access to a collaborative group of people who support you as you master your personal power and unlock your superpowers. If you're ready to use your superpowers to change the world, then join the Superpower Net today. Visit superpowerexperts.com/thenet to learn more.
Well, welcome back, everyone. You're talking with Jennifer Urezzio, founder and spiritual director of Soul Language, and of course a superpower expert and the facilitator of Superpowers of the Soul. And I'm with Patty Educati today, and we're talking about meditation in the body. So, we talked about, before the break, we talked about how it's less stress and how, things to be even the flow. And I think meditation is only one of the ways that we can create this, what I call this conscious conversation, this conscious connection with whatever you call your higher power. And you marked about that, a little bit about that, but I want to circle back to that and ask you for yourself, why is this creating this connection? I have the hiccups, everyone, but why is this creating this connection so important to furthering your own work and also to creating a life of bliss?
Oh gosh, for my own work, let's just address that. It's understanding people more because people are programmed. And we're all programmed, and that's part of meditation, and that's part of like what I've learned from, Dr. Joe Dispenza is if we can't change and break the habits of our thoughts, our continuous daily thoughts that are negative or they're not serving us or we're stuck in a place, then really, I hate to say this and sound negative, but it's extremely hard to change. It's hard to change a habit. It's hard to, if you're overeating, if you're, addicted to alcohol, food, whatever it might be in your life, you're broke, whatever it is, if you can't identify your behavior and really understand what those negative thoughts are doing to you or against you, it'll be very difficult to change.
Yeah.
And right? I mean,
yeah, I agree. Jennifer Bloom today in a Facebook group that she leads did this great video about how practice and repetition is very unsexy, and she's right. But meditation and consciously connecting and praying, not when you're in trouble, but on a regular daily practice, it's kind of unsexy. And we like to live in a sexy world, and we like to live in an instant gratification world, but doing those practices does allow for that smoother transition of change, and it also allows you to notice where you're out of sync with that connection. So I love what you're saying here.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and gratitude to me is just an extension. A lot of people, we can go around and say, I'm grateful for, I can say, I'm grateful for this day, I'm grateful for this, and having a positive attitude and saying that you're positive, but it's the feeling, it's the emotion that gets built up or conjured up inside a human being, and that connection back to the universe or your God or whatever is that raises that vibration, because we're all made of energy.
Yeah.
And gratitude is the number one, I mean, it really truly is. If you can really feel gratitude and be thankful, even for a mess that you're sitting in or the roof over your head, it truly can change everything.
Yeah, and I think that, people have heard me say it before, and I'll say it again. I think a lot of us, and I'm, guilty of this as well, is that we do drive by gratitude. Thank you so much for blah, blah, blah. Oh, but by the way, I don't have blah, 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 right? And so I think even being more conscious as you go throughout your day and you say 100 times thank you because you're polite and you've been taught to be really present in that and really extend that throughout your whole energy, and just pause throughout the day and really go, oh my God, like, how fun is my life? I woke up cranky this morning, and I'm like, why am I cranky? Like, my life is pretty great. We all get in these moods and blah, 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 but it's really about being present and noticing that, you're in control of how you're utilizing your energy. And I think meditation is also a great focusing point about helping that, and also gives you that time to see where you're out of alignment, with your body and all that.
100% out of alignment. I mean, and when you're quiet and you really truly can wake up every day and feel that each day is a gift and really feel it, that's a whole other thing to me, because I more and more, the more you meditate and the more gratitude, it just builds on each other. So when I wake up and, you're not in the greatest mood, or like you said, sexy, like, you got to master the mundane in business. I mean, it's really, right? You got to master the mundane, and none of that is sexy. It just looks sexy on the outside, but it's not when you're doing it. And so when the gratitude, and I can truly get up each day and say, I truly am happy to be here, and I get another day at this. I mean, I get another day to live. Not everybody's, there's a lot of people struggling out there.
And you make a very important part about, when we get up, when we do our sacred practices, when it becomes consistent, we're creating a really great foundation. And so when those blips come up of discomfort, we bounce back a lot quicker than when we're not doing a foundational practice. So I emailed Jennifer Bloom today. I was like, I'm in a mad. And she's like, yeah. She's like, okay, so here are some questions, blah, blah, blah. And she'll be like, yeah, but you usually get over mad really quick. And she's right, because I do have that foundation of practice and connection. And I think meditation is one of those great tools. As we're wrapping up, what other tools do you utilize, and you utilize for yourself and with your clients, that supports their connection?
Well, not everybody you can get immediately to understand that meditation and connecting with God and the universe is going to be helpful, right? So I'm a big proponent I am a huge fan of journaling, enormous. When it comes to coaching people, I always talk about meditation and getting quiet, because people think it might be this woo-woo far out thing, but if I can combine them getting their thoughts down on paper, first of all, which is, for me, it's just downloading. And a lot of times it's just downloading the garbage just right out of your head. And sometimes, people say, well, I'm not a big writer, I'm not this, or they resist it. It's so interesting because once they get it on paper, I say, now you have to actually read it. Like, read it. And sometimes they don't even recognize the person that wrote it, because these could be things that have been pent up for a long time. It's like, are these really my thoughts? Is this really how I feel? Is this, really who I am? But if you can combine, I think, journaling, downloading, so people can see who they are, and then you can combine it with just getting quiet and little bits at a time, 5 minutes of in silence, 3 minutes in silence, and build on that. I think you can absolutely help someone change their life just with those two things. It sounds simple, or maybe simplistic, but I believe that it works.
Beautiful. So as we're wrapping up our time together, before I ask my last couple of questions here, how do people get in touch with you again?
Yeah, so I'm Patty Educati, and you can find me at Patty, P-A-T-T-Y, Patty at patriciaeducate.com. So Patty at P-A-T-T-Y, P-A-T-R-I-C-I-A, educate, EDUCATE.com. And I'm on Facebook. And I'm on LinkedIn under
Beautiful.
Patricia Gens Educate. Yeah.
Beautiful. So, if there's one thing you want people to take away from our conversation today, what would it be?
Don't take your life for granted. Don't take your life for granted. You are an amazing human being with all kinds of, you do have superpowers. I love that you have the name of this as Superpowers of the Soul. You do have superpowers. They just get lost along the way for most people. And if you have it within you to really want to change, you can do it. You just got to dig deep into your soul and just, find yourself a good coach or someone to guide you along the way. And you can definitely come through the other side.
Beautiful. So my last question is, if whatever you call your higher power, universe, tree, Bob, God, cupcake, if you were, I had a client call it cupcake, if you were a magnet on your higher power's refrigerator, what would it say?
Oh, golly, what a great question. If I was a magnet on my higher power's refrigerator, what would it say? Oh, I think I have to go back to, take this life seriously, It's just, it's a beautiful gift. It really is an absolutely beautiful gift. And I think we get lost along the way with all the outside interference, but life is a beautiful gift.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you, Jennifer.
You are so welcome. And if you liked what you heard, you can connect with me and all the other experts in the Superpower Net, superpowerexperts.com/the net. There you'll find out a lot more about us and a lot of the groovy information and a lot of amazing people that you should connect with. So thank you all for listening, and we'll be back again soon. Everyone, have an amazing day.
Goodbye. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Are you ready to discover your superpowers? Go now to superpowerexperts.com and take the Superpower Quiz today.